I am your host Xavier and you are watching Final Day Alive Stories. Subscribe to my channel for a constant flow of great content. Like the video and drop a comment down below. It really helps out my channel with the algorithm. On August 25th, 2011, members from the drug cartel Los Zetas set a casino on fire in Monterrey, Nuevo Leon, Mexico, killing 52 people. The arson attack left over a dozen injured and over 35 trapped for several hours before the Mexican forces arrived at the public place minutes after the incident. Media reports state the majority of those killed were women, including one who was pregnant. Although the government crackdown of the drug cartels dates back to 2006, Monterrey became an increasingly violent city in 2010 due to the rupture of the Gulf Cartel and Los Zetas. Surveillance footage shows vehicles with armed gunmen arriving at the entrance of Casino Royale. After the gunmen descended from their vehicles, they stormed the casino's main entrance, opened fire on the guests, and doused the casino entrances with gasoline and started a fire that trapped people inside. The attack was classified as the most violent and bloodiest in the history of Monterrey and one of the worst in the state of Nuevo Leon. Burning down the Casino Royale, one of Mexico's drug atrocities. Thick smoke billows from the burning Casino Royale in Monterrey, Mexico, as firefighters attacked the blaze on August 25, 2011. After Monterrey saw piles of severed heads and corpses hanging from overpasses, it was hard to imagine a more gruesome attack in Mexico's industrial heartland. But the survivors pulled out of the city's burning Casino Royale described the truly hellish dimensions of the worst act of violence in the city in recent memory. The massacre illustrates how Mexico's drug cartels have steadily raised the stakes in trying to outbid one another as the most brutal player in the conflict. While their victims used to be limited to gangsters and police, now they are increasingly civilians with catastrophic consequences. CTV footage shows a gang of 8 gunmen descending on the casino located in an upper middle class neighborhood on Thursday afternoon, August 25, 2011, while about 150 croupiers and customers, mostly women, played bingo, roulette, and slots. The scene quickly descended into psychosis and panic as the crowd stampeded from the games into bathrooms, stairwells, and blocked emergency exits. They heard gunfire and explosions that they thought were grenades and saw men pour gasoline over the machines and set them ablaze. As the buildings burst into flames, most of the victims choked to death in trapped corners while others burned and they tried to escape or were crushed by the stampede. When emergency crews finally smashed down the walls to rescue the survivors, corpses littered the games, tables, stairwells, and bathrooms. By Friday morning, police had counted 52 dead. Dozens more were in hospitals. President Felipe Calderon quickly underlined the terrorist nature of the attack, whose victims appeared to be mostly innocent civilians with no connection to the drug war. I express my solidarity with the victims of this abhorrent act of terror and barbarity. The act of terror and barbarity. He wrote in a statement, "These deplorable acts require all of us to persevere in the fight against those unscrupulous criminal gangs." The president's message reaffirmed his commitment to the all-out war against drug cartels he has waged since taking power in December 2006. But the promise of more fighting back from the government offered little comfort to the Mexico's shaken public, which has watched cartels steadily escalate their tactics during the past decade. The bloody casino attack would have been inconceivable in Mexico 5 years ago. Yet as the country woke to news of the tragedy on Friday, people were disgusted but not surprised. As in so much of the violence in this conflict, it is hard to fathom the motives of the criminals' hit squads. In a news conference, officials said it was the work of organized crime, meaning drug cartels, but it did not say which gang it suspected. Monterrey has been torn by fighting between the Gulf Cartel and the Zetas, a criminal militia led by former special forces commandos. Officials also said they are investigating the casino's owners themselves for operating without a license. Casinos are one of the key businesses used by cartels for money laundering, and gangs like to hit their rivals' assets. But many businesses are the victims of cartel extortion and are attacked when they don't pay extortion money. Whatever the reason gangsters hit the casino, most of their victims were simply customers having a flutter. Some witnesses were reported as saying that although the assailants ordered them to leave, the terrified people in the crowd fled further into the building. Others didn't hear anything but gunshots and stampeding. Many with knowledge of cartels allege that the attackers were deliberately attacking civilians to make a bigger impact. On El Blog del Narco, a website that broadcasts cartel propaganda videos, the editor concluded that the attackers knew exactly what they were doing. Without a doubt, the attack was thought up and ordered from the high levels of an organized crime group. He wrote, the assassins knew perfectly what they were getting into. Their plan was to sow terror in the population. For many, killing civilians to make an impact is the definition of terrorism. Mexico's cartels started the brutal tactic of beheading rivals as recently as 2006, a technique they mimicked from Al-Qaeda videos. Investigators say the stunt was meant to terrorize both their enemies and the public. In September 2008, gangsters hit civilians directly when they lobbed 2 grenades at celebrating Independence Day, killing 8. In July 2010, the public became even more worried when the Juarez cartel set off a car bomb, killing police and civilians. Then, in August, the world was stunned when 72 migrants traveling through Mexico were shot dead in a massacre allegedly carried out by the Zetas in San Fernando County, which lies between Monterrey and the Texas border. The Casino Royale tragedy is the second most deadly massacre in the conflict after San Fernando. While the victims of last year's atrocity were poor migrants, the Casino Royale victims included many wealthy residents of Mexico's top business center. Among those waiting desperately outside the casino for word on family members was a former professional soccer player. In response, Calderon called for 3 days of national mourning. Amid this lamenting of what happened, many worry about what lies ahead and what the cartels could possibly do next. Mexico arrests 5 linked to deadly casino attacks. Nuevo Leon State Governor Rodrigo Medina speaks next to the photographs of 5 men believed to be members of the Zetas drug cartel who were arrested in connection with an arson attack at the casino last week that killed 52 people in Monterrey, Mexico, August. Mexico has arrested 5 alleged members of the Zetas drug cartel suspected of starting a casino fire that left 52 people dead in the northern state of Nuevo Leon. The state governor Rodrigo Medina said Monday the suspects have confessed to involvement in the killings and that authorities are looking for others involved in the attack on the Casino Royale in the capital, Monterrey. Officials are investigating whether the attack was in retaliation for the casino not paying extortion money. Last Thursday, armed men carrying a flammable liquid burst into the casino and set the place on fire. Many of the victims were found inside the casino's bathrooms, where they fled to escape the gunmen, but were instead trapped by smoke and fire. Mexico President Felipe Calderon declared 3 days of mourning after the attack. He condemned the violence as barbaric and said it was the worst attack on innocent civilians in Mexico in a long time. Mexico also offered a reward of $2.4 million for information leading to the arrest of the suspects. Organized and drug-related crime in Mexico has killed about 41,000 people since last 2006, when President Calderon took office and began a military offensive against the country's drug cartels. Final Day Alive stories. Like, subscribe, comment. I am your host, Xavier.